Hi, this is not my normal content. This is not normally what I do, but a lot of people have been coming to me on my Instagram asking me how I edit with CapCut. Trust me, I know I'm not the best editor, and I know CapCut's really hard to work with, but I hope I can help. So my example edit for today is a Johnny Lawrence edit from Cobra Kai and The Karate Kid. It's not the best edit, but it'll work. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, find scenes, a scene pack, all that jazz. Then for this really complicated intro transition, you have to screen record a transition from a YouTube video. There are a whole bunch of different overlay YouTube videos you can get. They're full of backgrounds and green screen transitions. You are going to make this intro transition in a separate project than your actual edit, okay? That is very important to know. This is because you're going to need to be able to use the green screen effect twice, and in each project you can only use it once. So the first thing you're going to do is resize your intro clip, and then using the overlay option, you are going to add the little transition you screen recorded through YouTube. Make sure you resize it correctly. As you can see, sometimes that takes a while, and that's perfectly okay. Make sure your transition and your intro are on beat with the music. Once you resize everything and it looks okay, then you can use the chroma key effect. If you don't know what the chroma key effect is, it is to completely get rid of a certain color. Sometimes you have to really think about what color you need to get rid of for a transition. For this one, I had to get rid of the black. This is because the white will later be bringing in a new clip. Make sure all the black is gone and the transition looks clean. After that, you're simply going to export the project. This next part is kind of complicated. So, I'm really bad at explaining, so it might be better since you can see it, but I'll try the best I can to explain. The project you just created will be an overlay. Above the overlay, you will have some random filler clips that don't matter. That can be just a blank screen or some random clips. In this, I'm just using some random screen recorded clips that I wasn't using. When you see the transition, you can then stop adding random clips and backgrounds, and then add your first actual clip that you will be using for the edit. Make sure you resize things as necessary so it all fits the beat. Then, after that, we're going to go back to our chroma key effect, and this time, we are going to get rid of all of the white. You might be like, why? But just watch. When you use the chroma key effect, you have to be extra careful with how intense the transition is. As you can see here, I was having some problems where the walls were being cut out. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure why, but my screen recorder stopped and you can't see the final product, so I'm just going to add that in. This is what your final product should look like if you do everything correctly. All the people that have come to me on Instagram, I have told them all the exact same thing. Try to find transitions that flow together. In CapCut, you have pre-made transitions. And yes, that sounds nice, but sometimes they don't always flow and your edit just turns into a hot mess. But if you find ones that flow together, spin the right way, bounce at the same time, they all work. For example, I use spin in and then the transition's smaller. As you can see, I'm doing that right now. The other kind of transitions that I've been obsessed with using recently are in the in section of the animations. I love all the bouncy shake effects. There are also transitions you can use in between those white little squares, but you must be careful with which ones you use. Some of those transitions cut your clips down and they make them offbeat. To make a clip zoom in and out, you have to use the little diamond marks. You'll only most likely need two. The first one is just your starting point, which is how your normal clip looks, and the second one is going to be the zoom, which you just can crop however you want. Now onto the kawaii cheeks. For the kawaii cheeks, you have to find a PNG online, so just look up something like kawaii blush PNG, and I'm going to add that right whenever I zoom in. Make sure everything is lined up correctly, nothing's too long, too short, it's all on beat, and then you have to use the little diamond marks to move it wherever the face moves. So just make a point wherever you feel like it's necessary, and make sure you don't really zoom in or out on the cheeks, because if you do, it just looks like the cheeks are growing or shrinking and it looks really weird. So pretty much for the rest of these clips, I'm trying to find more transitions, see if everything works together, and then I start my loop. So while I'm doing all that boring stuff, I'm going to give some quick tips that I'm thinking of right now. I guess number one is when people use CapCut, they wonder why their transitions glitch and everything looks weird. There's a simple explanation for that I did not find out for a very long time. If you make a clip longer and there's already a transition on the clip, the transition doesn't get bigger with the clip. It stays the exact same duration it was originally. So if you make a clip longer, please check the transition. I guess my only other big tip is don't go too crazy with the transitions. Some people try to really outdo themselves because they think that the transitions are really cool, and trust me, I was the exact same way, but sometimes bigger isn't always better, I guess. So one of my favorite parts about editing, which is really weird, is my watermark. I just really like how the text looks, and that's because I decorate it specifically. This is pretty freestyle, you can do it however you want. Last minute, I decided I wanted to add another PNG, which is pretty much the exact same thing as the kawaii blush, except this time, it's not as hard. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier. Make sure you aren't using the PNGs as stickers. That doesn't work. Make sure they are overlays so you can add transitions to them. Because for this one, I just used a cute little lovey emoji PNG, and I'm going to add the exact same transition I did for this clip, which was bend zoom. I don't know why, but I love the bend zoom effect. For my covers, I usually just look up a picture of the character I'm looking for, and then I add it to cover, and then I add my username at the bottom. Obviously, that is completely optional. I just thought I'd show you how to do a cover. So to adjust the brightness and other effects, you're going to go into the adjust section. Personally, I like to add a tiny bit of saturation, a tiny bit of brightness. I lower the highlight, I add the tiniest bit of grain, and I add the sharpness. But it also depends on the quality and lighting of your video. Then you're going to export. Make sure everything is the highest it can be so you get a good quality video. I'm about to show the finished product, but let me just tell you, this takes a lot of time. Edits take hours to make, they're really hard and complicated, and I'm still learning. I will say I've definitely improved though, so just keep practicing.
Oh. Put one of those hash browns at the end, you know, like hash brown team Cobra Kai or something. And send it to the internet! It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the... So, these are only a few things that I know that, I've been asked about. There are a few other transitions that some people have asked me that are pretty complicated. So if you would like another video like this, please tell me. I'm fine with doing this. This was actually fairly fun to edit. And it didn't take away all of my storage space like other videos. If you want to see another video like this, give it a thumbs up. Or you can DM me on my Instagram because my DMs are open. I am up to listen and all that jazz. My Instagram does have more edits, so if there's anything in particular you want to learn about, you can go watch my edits and comment and be like, hey, teach me this. Please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for new videos whenever I feel like it. Also, please ignore that I was simping over Johnny Lawrence. I get it. He was supposed to be the bad guy in Karate Kid, and now he's super old, but it's Johnny Lawrence! Okay, I'll stop.